Radio's official FA Cup live, covering every game, every goal. Live, SJ Radio.
Here we go in the live FA Cup final 2018. Chelsea take on Manchester United live at Wembley. 32 teams of 15 competitions. 2 teams, 1 winner. And here we go in 5:15 kick-off. 4 minutes till that. We'll join 5 Live in a while. But first, we'll take down to the teams. And Chelsea playing 3-5-1-1 formation. Contest Zabaleta, Cahill. We've got Ryan Moses, Chamberlain, Cahill. We've got Bantos, Hazard and Gloin. On substitutes, we've got Barkley, Mosher, Pogba, Zabaleta, Willian and Shibla. Manchester United 4-3-3 formation. The Harvey goal captain this evening is Valencia. Then you've got Smalling, Jones, Young, Herrera, Matic, Pogba, Lingard, Rashford and Sanchez. On the benches for United in this evening. You've got Bailey, Mata, Lukaku, Martial, Memento, Damien and McTominay. Looking at bets in, if you fancy a bet, you still got time. For Chelsea to win within the 90 minutes, this is. You're looking at the goal. You're looking. Here we go. You're looking at 17-10 for Sky Bet. For it to be a draw within 90 minutes is 2-1 and 2-1 for United to win as well. Kind of more bets for there. Sanchez to score first is 8-1. Also Hazard to score and Chelsea to win within 90 minutes is 5-1. Marco Rashford to score and Manchester United to win within 90 minutes is 11-2. Fake Rashford to score anytime is 9-1. Joe Walsh to score a header is 10-1. Also 12-1 is Pogba to score outside the penalty box, and 15-2 is Manchester United to win 1-0. And Chelsea to win 2-1 is 11-1. So we'll be celebrating the Royal Red this evening, or you're just scanning to see your glory. We shall find out, won't we? So here we go in live, Chelsea versus Manchester United, FA Cup 2018. Let's join 5 Live. Oh, no. Let's join 5 Live.
Morgan 1.
SJ Radio's official FA Cup live, covering every game, every goal. Live, SJ Radio.
It's underway at 7:30. This is it then, the FA Cup final, live on 5 Live Sport. It's a gloriously sunny day. It's always difficult to put your telly in the garden on days like this. You can never see the picture properly. So forget about the telly. Just listen to it on the radio. It's a lot easier to take the radio out into the garden than it is the telly. And your commentary team here at Wembley, our correspondent John Murray, Sean Dyche, the Burnley manager, a proper team player, Robbie Savage, and our senior football reporter, Ian Dennis.
Thank you, Mark. Well, this morning in Windsor, there was the sea of red, white and blue. And here at Wembley, those colours are prominent. The royal blue of Chelsea away to our left, the red to our right of Manchester United. There is no harmony, though. There is certainly no love lost between the two managers, Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte. And these are the two sides that those managers have picked, starting with Manchester United. De Gea in goal, a back four of Valencia, Smalling, Jones and Young. The three in midfield, Herrera, Matic and Pogba, and the three up front, Sanchez, Lingard and Rashford. There is no Lukaku, although he is on the bench, along with Bailly, Mata, Martial, Darmian and McTominay. Romero, the goalkeeper, no place at all for Marouane Fellaini, who of course is out of contract at the end of this season. For Chelsea, Courtois is preferred to Caballero. It's his first appearance in the FA Cup this season. Back three of Azpilicueta, Rudiger and Gary Cahill. Moses is the right wing back, Alonso is the left wing back. The three in midfield, Fabregas, Kante and Bakayoko. Giroud and Hazard are the two up front. Chelsea, royal blue shirts, royal blue shorts and white socks. Manchester United in the red shirts, white shorts and black socks. Our referee is Michael Oliver. And the 137th FA Cup final is underway. And you're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live here at Wembley. And Manchester United playing from right to left as we look. And they're also using a ball which the FA has placed names of the 137 goal scorers from the FA Cup for this 137th final. Will it just be the one goal that separates the two sides, or will we have an expansive game? Many are believing, Robbie Savage, that this is going to be like a game of chess, a tactical battle between the two managers.
Yeah, I think it will be. Interestingly, Deno, Rashford playing as the centre forward, Sanchez to his left and Lingard to his right. People saying that Sanchez might start in that centre forward position, but it's Rashford who's going to lead the line.
Azpilicueta to Kante. Just trying to see as well where Herrera is at the moment, because Herrera did a job last season, and in fact he's absolutely already right on Eden Hazard, isn't he, Sean Dyche? And that's something that we were expecting, but he's
straight away you can see it. I mean, even this early in the game, there he is chasing him down, trying to get tight, and it looks already that will be his main job. So certainly from this early, even first 30 seconds, he's all over him, in fact.
Alonso picks up the ball on the left-hand side. Michael Oliver gives the free kick to Chelsea on that far side, the left, as they play from left to right. And we welcome listeners to the BBC World Service here, to the home of English football, Wembley Stadium, for this showpiece event. And both sides, of course, looking to try and get silverware, as it's an early set piece that Chelsea are going to take, and it's played in, and David De Gea comfortably right down the throat of the United goalkeeper, decked out all in green. Robbie,
the interesting thing there, United played such a high line, no marker was actually picking up a Chelsea player. They all just dropped in. It was a poor ball in from Fabregas. That allows Giroud and Rudiger and Kale to get a run on their centre half, all their markers. So that was quite interesting how high United were from that wide free kick.
Manchester United with a throw on that right hand side. It goes out of play. It'll be another throw for Antonio Valencia, who will take it. What's the referee's pull play back as Hazard tried to nip in. But for Manchester United, they've been very, very tight this season. They only conceded the first goal in the semi-final in this competition. But for Chelsea as well, they've conceded just 2 goals in 10 hours of FA Cup football this season. Matic against his former side to Pogba. The suited and booted Antonio Conte in his technical area. More casual looking Jose Mourinho also trying to get some instructions across as United go back and across towards that far side, the right. Ball is played forward and strikes the shins of Alonso and Valencia at walking pace, and they'll be relieved to see that the sun has almost left the playing surface, just that final third as we look away to our left hand side. But the thing is, which strikes you when we were down there presenting, and we've been on air since 2 o'clock, is that there's not much air down there at all. It's breathless down there at pitch level. Here is Ashley Young, forward ball from left back, headed away, comes straight back out to Sanchez, has a good scoring record at Wembley, 8 goals for club and country in this famous stadium, and cleared away downfield by Azpilicueta. And Chelsea will have a throw on the halfway line. Yeah,
when United get the ball, Herrera then detaches himself from Eden Hazard. He gets on the ball, but as soon as he loses possession or looks for a United teammate, he then reverts and looks where Hazard is straight away when Chelsea get the ball.
I mean, at the minute he's actually playing alongside Smalling.
Yeah, you can see they're almost forming a 3 there.
Yeah,
Herrera's that deep. It's almost like they're going into a 3 there, where Herrera's almost like the third centre half.
And he's just constantly glancing over his shoulder just to keep a check on Hazard, as the ball is with Chelsea and Bakayoko. Back to Rudiger. Forward ball, it's a diagonal ball. He's looking to Moses on this side, but Ashley Young, I think he wanted De Gea to come off his line. De Gea retreated. Ashley Young with a back pass to David De Gea, who picked up the Golden Glove for the first time in his career with 18 clean sheets in the Premier League. And Jones just lets it bounce, drops his shoulder and sees it back to De Gea. So a very steady start in terms to the pace to the game.
It is, and David De Gea there, when he received the ball off Young, smashed up to the centre forward position. No Lukaku today, was on the bench. I'm not sure we'll see him do that much today. They'll try and play out from the back, because Sanchez, Rashford, Lingard, they're not a physical presence up there, so they're going to have to get the ball further up the park before they look for little diagonal balls, little interchange from those front three.
Here is Ashley Young, left back for Manchester United. Pogba shields the ball away from Moses. Ashley Young then to Jones at the heart of the United defence. And then it's a ball that he'll pick out to Herrera just short of the halfway line. Now finds Valencia, infield to Rashford, 10 yards over the halfway line. Rashford tussling with the ball, Alonso with the back pass, and Gary Cahill will see it back towards Courtois. Strikes it first time, left-footed, decked out all in orange away in the sunshine. Climbing in the air was Giroud, drops to the feet of Valencia, forward ball goes out of play. It will be a Chelsea throw. Well, we said it was going to be a game of a game of chess, and the opening 6 minutes certainly doesn't dispel that theory, Sean.
No, certainly not. And it looks to me, Man United particularly, almost like a back seven and then a front three. The front three are playing loose, they're almost interchanging, trying to cause them trouble, and the back seven are holding a lot more, particularly with Herrera dropping back into that back three at times when he needs to get hold of Hazard.
That's the voice of the Burnley manager with us here on 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC. A man who'll be leading Burnley into European football next season after his terrific exploits in the Premier League this season. Young forward towards Sanchez in the sunshine. Sanchez gets away from Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta quickly back goal side. Sanchez to Pogba, dispossessed by Fabregas, who drops to the floor, and referee Michael Oliver says that will be a free kick to Chelsea. 0-0, 7 minutes played. Robbie.
Very structured, very rigid. Manchester United, as Sean's just alluded to, Pogba can't get on the ball. He's definitely sticking to this left-hand side. Well, you'd say it was a 2 really, with Matic playing on the right. And as Sean said, Herrera's dropping into that back 2 to make a back 3. It's just the front 3, Sanchez, Lingard and Rashford. You go and try and make something happen up there.
And Sanchez is actually alongside Rashford, and Herrera is the one who's just dropping off, isn't he, for the red of Manchester United. But it's with the royal blue of Chelsea, and Bakayoko on that far side, and he tries to get down that far side, the left, but he's seen off, and it'll be cleared away by Matic. Sliding in was Lingard. Chelsea have it back on the left-hand side. And now it's with Fabregas, edge of the penalty area, goalless, can't find a way through, breaks to Lingard, able to turn. Pogba now running forward. Looks for the early ball towards Sanchez. It comes back to Lingard, goes in for a challenge with N'Golo Kante, and there is a free kick which is in favour of Manchester United.
I think there was a sign of Man United there. Robbie was saying about the shape, and see how quickly their legs, their energy on the turnover. You see Lingard gets out of it, Rashford of course, Alexis, they fly, and I think that will be a big part of it in a cagey game, how quickly on transition you can attack the opposition. Likewise for Chelsea, if they get that chance, can Hazard find a hole? Because it's awkward for Herrera to mark him, but then when Man United get the ball, of course, he's got to go and play. So at times that will release a moment any moment in the game. If Chelsea can win it back, they get it to Hazard, there will be a chance for him to run through.
Free kick's taken short. Young, left corner of the penalty area, in comes the cross, headed away by Cahill. A little bit off balance there was Herrera, kept his feet though. Kept ball for the Manchester United as well. Jones in the centre circle, didn't get the elevation. Bakayoko towards Hazard. Hazard's now up against Jones. Giroud makes the run through the middle. Hazard can't find him. Hazard to the edge of the area, into the box he goes. The angle is tight, and De Gea I think makes the save with his legs down by the right hand post. Hazard, there was no Herrera there. There was a quick break from Chelsea. Hazard's kept the ball in play, left hand side. Fabregas is in the penalty area. Alonso provides the support, left hand side. Offside against Hazard, coming back. But that was that first opening where he's got away from Herrera.
Yeah, as I was suggesting, Herrera's still got to play. So in possession, he's got to release to go and play. And if it turns over and they do get it to Hazard on that moment, which they just did, then Hazard's free to go and run, which he just did, and he creates himself a chance.
I will say, Dale, they picked the wrong option. Giroud made a great run. He had Jones come out to mark him, and Giroud had a free run. Lingard was trying to track him back, and if Hazard lifts his head up, he's got a pass with the outside of his right foot, which he's capable of doing, just slide into Giroud's path, and it would have been on his left foot. So poor option from Hazard there.
Needed to make the save though with his right leg, did David De Gea. That might well have crept inside the near post from Eden Hazard, and it's the first opportunity that we've seen here in this FA Cup final on 5 Live and the World Service. 10 minutes played. Moses, who of course was dismissed against Arsenal in the final last year, only the 5th player to be sent off in an FA Cup final. Chris Smalling, of course, had that dubious honour the year before for United against Crystal Palace, as Chelsea have been awarded a free kick. The applause and the bellowing in the background is that of Jose Mourinho at the very edge of his technical area, as a clean-shaven Antonio Conte just stands and watches on. Fabregas to take the free kick, floated forward off his right foot, headed away by Matic. Herrera tries to hook it away downfield. Chelsea will win it back. Bakayoko gives it away towards Valencia. Valencia is closed down by Hazard. Matic was alert to the danger to tidy up on the edge of the penalty area. His clearance, though, goes only as far as his former teammate N'Golo Kante. Fabregas back, and Chelsea with Azpilicueta to Moses on this near side. It's an early ball to the feet of Giroud. Flags raised on this near side.
Interestingly to see that, from both sets of the teams. Look at United's midfield, the creativity. So you've got Herrera, who's doing a man-to-man job on Hazard, you would suggest. Matic is more defensive-minded play, and Pogba's hard in the game. So the creativity in that side to get the ball to Rashford, to Lingard, to Sanchez is not really that great.
The voice of Robbie Savage. We have Sean Dyche with us here in the commentary box as well, as Matic comes onto the ball. The former Chelsea player makes a strong run, tries to squeeze it through towards Rashford, who's dropped out towards that far side, the right. Rashford fires in a low ball, cleared away by Gary Cahill. Valencia lays it off, Matic then plays it back, and Manchester United with Herrera to Rashford, still holding that right touchline, level with the penalty area, playing from right to left, and Alonso comes across and it goes out of play for a Manchester United throw. Rashford, who of course Jose Mourinho very critical of in the recent game against Brighton and Hove Albion, but the only change from the side that beat Tottenham in the semi-final is the England international being preferred to Lukaku, who's missed the last 2 weeks with an ankle injury but is fit enough to take his place on the bench. Here is Lingard, lays it off and in field towards Matic, strokes it towards Ashley Young, plays in the cross. It's a curling ball, easily dealt with by Courtois, and Courtois will just hang on to the ball as it's an underarm throw out to Rudiger, who's possibly been one of Chelsea's better players this season. Certainly Bakayoko has struggled since he's arrived from Monaco. An underwhelming first campaign, missing out as well in the French World Cup squad of 23. Giroud, his teammate, though, has made it. Here is Fabregas, forward ball to the aforementioned Giroud, lays it off towards Moses, able to turn into the path of Hazard, this right-hand touchline, held up by Chris Smalling. Fabregas making a run through the middle. Hazard will actually find Fabregas now. Early ball forward. There was a clip there. VAR will be used. We do have VAR. Neil Swarbrick is the man who's at Stockley Park, and he will now be in the ear of Michael Oliver as Bakayoko went down under a challenge inside the penalty area.
Yeah, Matic was the wrong side of Bakayoko. I think it was more of a coming together rather than a foul. Contact in the box doesn't mean it has to be a penalty. I think he's got it right. The question is, was there arms on Bakayoko's back? We're going to see a replay here. I'm not so sure it's a penalty. I think that's the correct decision.
I'll tell you, for someone who hasn't had a penalty in over a calendar year, I'd take anything, so that might have been one for me.
Well, VAR would have looked at it. His hands were around him on Bakayoko, who went down, but VAR not required in the FA Cup final. Herrera out to Valencia, right hand side, back with Herrera once again. Here is Matic midway through the Chelsea half. It's 0-0, flat ball into the penalty area from Matic. Look towards Sanchez. That was dealt with by Azpilicueta's head. Here is Pogba 30 yards out from goal, almost the left corner of the penalty area, to Lingard, the England international, out towards Ashley Young, level of the area. United having to be patient. Lingard to Matic. Chelsea have dropped off to Herrera. Now they switch it towards Valencia. Comes in off the right touchline. A quarter of an hour played. Here is Matic, surrounded by royal blue shirts. Back out to Valencia once again. Herrera's behind him. Valencia waits. It's a left-footed cross. It's a deep ball into the penalty area. Sanchez, he takes a tumble inside the penalty area. I thought there was actually, before that, there was a little tug on him actually, but he stayed on his feet. Then he went to ground, and Michael Oliver says no once again. Manchester United just getting a little bit in control of the game now.
Definitely. What I would say though, Chelsea, we've all seen it. They can do this. They can contain. They can stay solid and structured, and then they just, come into the game. They slowly come into the game, and they do have quality. But at the moment, Man United controlling the tempo of the game and the feel of the game.
Ball forward from Ashley Young. Sanchez tries to keep the ball in play, but without no avail, and it goes out of play for a goal kick in the sunshine. Of course, after this FA Cup final and the trophy presentation, certain Robbie Savage, he's flying solo tonight on 606 08085 909 and 693. I know you like the and.
Do you know, when I played in the Premier League, I was designated man marker against teams with special players, and I man marked Gianfranco Zola in a game we won at Stamford Bridge 2-0, and Gianfranco Zola got taken off after 60 minutes because what I done, I wasn't as good as Herrera with the ball, so I was just assigned wherever Zola goes, you just stick to him. And in the end, he got frustrated. I kicked him a few times, unsurprisingly, and because I was so tight to him, and I wasn't bothered about the ball. And the problem United will have is if Herrera wants to get the ball because he gets frustrated, that's when Hazard might get the time and space.
Designated man marker then. You're now looking for designated callers on 606, or designated drivers. That's the one, isn't it? As De Gea with the overarm throw out to Herrera, stretching, just a lapse of concentration from Herrera, didn't keep the ball in play, and it goes out that Chelsea will take quickly over on that far side. Exeter 36, Newcastle 5 was the full-time score in the Aviva Premiership semi-final. So Exeter face Saracens next Saturday in the Premiership final at Twickenham, after Saracens beat Wasps earlier 57-33. And the Rugby League, the Magic Weekend, that's on 5 Live Sports Extra. This is the FA Cup final. In the Scottish Cup final earlier, Celtic, a double treble after beating Motherwell 2-0. But it's goalless here at Wembley between Chelsea and Manchester United. Very slow pace to the game with Manchester United in possession. We've been playing for just over 17 minutes. Smalling to Jones, forward ball, reaches Ashley Young just short of the halfway line. Matic comes to collect it, over the halfway line he ventures. Rashford's now popped up on this near side, the left. Look, and then Young to Jones, and the ball into the centre circle will find Pogba, who will switch it back out towards that right hand side to Herrera, and slowly but surely through the field, but Chelsea have everybody back behind the ball. Matic to Sanchez. Giroud's up with both Herrera and Smalling, needs some support, dispossessed by Herrera. Giroud tries to win it back, Herrera does well. Lay off though by Sanchez, kept in play by Valencia on that far side. Sanchez now takes over, drops to his knees, quickly springs back, out of play it goes, it's for a Chelsea throw. Nothing between them.
Very good distances between the units. He'll be important because he does have the ability to get turned in tight areas and cause trouble, and I think he'll be important if they remain as they are at the moment, which is very detailed in the defensive shape. Very, very good distances from Chelsea at the moment.
Lingard, he's got a good track record of scoring in domestic finals for Manchester United, both the FA Cup final in 2016 and the League Cup final, but Chelsea have the ball now, and they back it with Courtois in the sunshine away to our left hand side. 19 minutes played and just the one opportunity that we've had so far in a very cagey FA Cup final, as Courtois strikes it downfield left footed to Giroud, just checks on Smalling. Smalling wins that aerial duel. Kante though will get there before Matic, and out towards Alonso. Fabregas now takes over 10 yards inside the United half. Hazard, and it actually was in front of Azpilicueta, behind Moses, and despite both applauding, goes out of play for a United throw.
We talked a lot about Paul Pogba before the game, and you can see the way United have set up. It's quite a defensive system, and people say Paul Pogba doesn't flourish at times in this side, and he's going to the manager's game plan today. He's sticking to that left hand side. He's not going to the right, he's not looking to the ball, he's sticking to the left-hand side, so you would say he's doing a job for the team today.
Young's going to venture forward and Pogba will find him on this near side, the left. Moses quickly looks to close him down. Young in field, Pogba. Lingard's made the run. Pogba will try and find him, lifting it into the penalty area, headed away by Cahill. Moses now will bring it clear for Chelsea, running in field. Fabregas playing the ball up towards Hazard. First control, takes him away from Jones. Hazard now goes past Jones. Hazard into the penalty area. Hazard goes down under the challenge, and it's a penalty. Jones with a challenge on Hazard, and Chelsea have a penalty in the 21st minute. Jones was always struggling. He's shown a yellow card. And I think the only saving grace here why it's yellow is that it was seemed to be a challenge for the ball made by Phil Jones on Hazard, rather than just a blatant foul, otherwise it would have been the red.
Well, you've got to say the defensive shape of Manchester United was all over the place. Jones was hesitant, and you've got to say the take from Hazard on the half volley with his speed and power. Then he gets wrong side of Phil Jones. Phil Jones is always running back, and then he dives in, he goes to block a shot, and then he makes contact with his arm on Hazard, brings him down. Definite penalty.
Let's go touchline, Vicky Sparks.
Well, Carlo Cudicini has hopped over the fence to come and chat to Lee Mason, the fourth official. Himself and Antonio Conte adamant that should have been a red card. Was it a genuine attempt to win the ball? That's what's decided.
Hazard is going to take the penalty kick. It's a very, very short run-up for Eden Hazard against David De Gea. It's just a matter of yards for Eden Hazard. It's not the longest run-up as he waits with those bright orange boots. It's Eden Hazard now, sends De Gea the wrong way, and Eden Hazard gives Chelsea the lead in the FA Cup final. The man who won the penalty dispatches the spot kick, and Chelsea have the advantage, 1-0.
Well, as we were talking about, on the turnover of play, can he free himself up, Hazard? Because when he does, he's just so good at that moment. That's why we said his touch was magnificent. But not only that, once his touch has gone off him, you see his change of gait, how quickly he gets on the move. And I mean, running, as hard as he can, toes it in front of him. I don't think it's a red. I think it's a genuine attempt, it seems to me. He just nicks him, but clever players now. A little nick on Hazard, he goes down for the right reasons. I've spoken a lot about that this season. That, for me, is gamesmanship, because he gets touched, he goes down. That's the big difference. That's not cheating, that's clever play. He knows the defender's got to make a decision. The defender comes in to make the tackle, and he goes down because he does get touched, and therefore it's a penalty.
Just checking on the far side, there just seems to be a slight altercation in the lower tier. A little bit of a scuffle breaking out in the Manchester United end, but you've heard from Robbie Savage, you've just heard from Sean Dyche. We're midway through the first half, and this is our BBC football correspondent's voice now, John Murray, to take you through to half-time.
Thanks, Ian. 1-0 to Chelsea then in the 2018 FA Cup final, which previously had failed to fire. That should lift the game. Manchester United have to respond, and here's Matic up against his former club, out to Young. Young's ball in, right-footed, it is over the top of the Chelsea defence, but Rudiger was able to move to his left and headed away out towards the far side. So Manchester United in the red shirts and white shorts and black socks have to come from behind in this cup final, just as they did in the FA Cup semi-final here a few weeks ago against Tottenham.
Do you know, Sean, as a manager now, so you've man-marked Hazard, or Herrera's been close to him, you've gone 1-0 down. As a manager now, do you think, right, game plan changes, we've got to go and do something a little bit different, or is it too early for that?
I think the hardest thing is not to get involved. Now it's almost calm. It's almost say, hang on a minute, we're not a million miles, because they've dominated most of the play and the feel of the game so far. But the turnover creates a chance, they score from it. So now it's, don't go too far away from the game plan, I don't think, but be monitoring it. How's this going to change? Now, the only thing I'd like to see, and you mentioned about Pogba doing that role on the left-hand side, that was a great opportunity where Chelsea do allow you time with the ball around the box and a crossing opportunity. I'd like to see Pogba drive between the posts, because Young can find a cross rather, and he's clipped one in there. They've gone for pace, they've gone for a lack of physicality, if you like, and therefore you need some physicality. Pogba definitely has that physicality. He can arrive in the box.
Sean Dyche and Robbie Savage with us in the 5 Live Wembley commentary box, and we're watching Chelsea leading Manchester United by 1-0. The World Service are with us as well. You can also listen via the BBC Sport app on this beautiful Saturday evening, on the day of the royal wedding. Glorious conditions, you'll know if you watched the pictures from there earlier, in the southeast of England today, and the sun continues to shine on Wembley Stadium, where the arch was lit up red, white and blue last night to mark the events in Windsor. An unforced error by Marcus Rashford just now while you were listening to Sean, who just passed the ball out of play. And there is a little bit of delicious history, the fact that Chelsea have won a penalty in the FA Cup final against Manchester United. But here come United with Pogba on the left hand side. Pogba, who's really not been able to get into the game, but now into the full-back position after getting it back from Young, and he played it between Fabregas and Moses, was caught there, goes down. It's a free kick in the full-back position. Robbie?
Yeah, good bit of score from Pogba. Was a foul, I thought it was Fabregas and Moses. Pogba nicked the ball in between them. He's brought down. Now good opportunity now. We've seen Sanchez's delivery in recent weeks, the one in the derby for Smalling's winner. Very similar situation. Out on the left hand side, he's going to be an in-swinger. What can United do from this?
Let's see, Sanchez to take it. A two-man wall. There's just one sliver of the pitch that is covered in sunshine, and that is the area into which Sanchez will play this ball. He stands 1 foot in front of the other. Sanchez then drives it back out of the area to Herrera, who miscues the shot altogether, and actually, via a little deflection, passed it straight back to Sanchez, who now crosses right-footed, and it's headed up, and the ball lands on the roof of the net. And referee Oliver says the final touch was off a Chelsea man. It was Pogba who got his head to it, but there was a Chelsea man there with him. It was Bakayoko. Took a touch off him, and it is a corner that's been given to Manchester United, the first corner of the match. Chelsea are winning 1-0 through that penalty that was scored almost midway through the first half from Eden Hazard after he was brought down in the box by Phil Jones. But a brilliant piece of skill from Hazard to make the opportunity, really, after the long ball was hit to him. So here's this United corner in towards the near post, and a glancing header across the face of goal from Marcus Rashford.
You know, I've got to say, I'm amazed they haven't put a cross in there. You know, not only the quality that they have, particularly Sanchez, to land it right on the money, but the keeper's got the sun in his eyes. He's got 10 yards of sun, and guess what? He's in that 10 yards of sun there. You know, I'd put it straight between the posts with the quality these guys have got. I'd spin it in there and ask a question, put down the one. He lays it to Herrera. That's a really tough position to try and shoot from when it's pulled across at that pace from that distance.
So it is 1-0 then through the penalty, and Chelsea supporters will remember, Manchester United fans will remember as well, this is the third time we've had a cup final between Chelsea and Manchester United. Back in 2007 when Mourinho's Chelsea beat Sir Alex's Manchester United, but back in 94, remember, Chelsea had 2 penalties given against them, and Chelsea supporters have never forgiven David Ellery, who was the referee that day. Now in 2018, Chelsea have had a penalty given their way against Manchester United in the FA Cup final. That will not have been lost on their supporters. 1-0, and Eden Hazard scoring for the 17th time for Chelsea this season. Here come Manchester United then. Little ball slipped forward towards Lingard in a central area, went to shoot, but the challenge came in on him from Fabregas, just got a little touch on it, and the ball ran away through for Moses to clear. Now Manchester United with Pogba, but it bounces favourably for Giroud, and then Hazard is challenged, and it bounces back for Manchester United. Their supporters, the United fans, have got the end to our right. 28,000 officially tickets for each set of supporters, and the Chelsea fans, who are the happier of the two, in the mainly blue and white in the end to our left, which is the end towards Manchester United, are attacking with Rashford on the left hand side. Lukaku only able to be fit enough to be on the bench for United today. Romelu Lukaku, their top scorer this season. Valencia's challenge, the ball bounces out of play, it's taken, the throw by him back towards Herrera, who drops his shoulder. Herrera, scorer of the winning goal in the semi-final, plays it up towards the edge of the area, little deflection. Now it's swinging from the right-hand side. Sanchez went for the header, 2 defenders with him. The ball glanced out towards the left-hand side where Ashley Young is there. Young back towards Pogba on his right foot, shoots low, but Courtois going down to his right. Knew it was going wide, Robbie.
Yes, better for Manchester United, a period of possession, working the ball across the pitch, ends up with Pogba, 20 yards out on his right foot, slightly on angle. Goes to that near post, but Courtois had it covered.
I think the big thing for me is when they've got that kind of possession in the top third, Man United, they shift it quick. You know, at times they've just been a little bit slow in how quickly their passing is. These guys are very technical. They can shift the ball really quick and open up the gaps before Chelsea can get over and screen.
So 1-0 Chelsea lead, and we've played almost half an hour. It's a quiet opening to the match, really, the first 20 minutes or so. I thought that Chelsea had a case when Herrera put in the challenge on him. That was the first penalty shout that Chelsea had, but there was little doubt really when Jones dived in with the challenge on Eden Hazard.
I've got to say, John, on 6-06 later, you know, I think if United get beaten this fine, obviously the manager Mourinho, I think United fans will phone up and criticise, although he does know the players better. But Herrera is playing as a third centre half. He's paying no attention to Hazard at the minute. He is actually on that right hand side, and he's leaving Hazard free.
Pogba just leaves it towards Rashford, now back more centrally to Manchester United, and Nemanja Matic, this tall, powerful Serb who drives with the ball into the full-back position against the blue shirts of Chelsea that are so familiar to him, and wins a throw-in near the corner flag on the left-hand side. I suppose the point is, as regards the man marking of Herrera on Hazard, when you have to change your plan. They're 1-0 down, they have to be more positive now. Here's the throw-in taken towards Pogba. But then the challenge comes in on him, and it's cleared away towards the halfway line by Azpilicueta. Now stabbed forward by Matic, but Moses was there just inside the box, just to half-volley it straight out of play for another throw to Manchester United. There's a bit of urgency about United now, having gone a goal down. Young takes a quick throw, gets it back from Matic. Then infield again towards Matic, who's 35 yards from goal. He plays it square to Sanchez, FA Cup and semi-final goal-scoring specialist Alexis Sanchez, remember, in his Arsenal days, and indeed for Manchester United as well in the semi-final against Spurs. United with it on the right-hand side. It's played back further towards the halfway line, and United will go back to smaller.
Chelsea have got a great defensive shape. There's no space between the lines, and there's a reluctance from Valencia to put the ball in the box because Pogba's holding out, and then you've got Rashford and Lingard in the box, so he's not going to put the ball in. Then they play it back, and then they're patient with it again, but then Chelsea get back in their shape. No space between the lines as Sanchez hits a shot over.
Yeah, shot from where it'll be 25 yards given the angle, that sailed away wide and high behind the goal. And of course the thing we don't really know is he's fit enough to be on the bench, Lukaku, but we don't know how fit he is and how much of a part that he can play in this match.
I'd be really, really surprised if he's fit, that he doesn't come on pretty early in the game. Not pre-half-time, I would imagine, pretty early into the second half. I'd be really surprised, depending on the state of the game, of course.
It's now very nicely poised, isn't it? From a neutral point of view, for Chelsea to get that goal. And what a brilliant piece of skill it was by Hazard as well. From the long pass, was he 10 yards inside the Manchester United half? Jones there was a little bit of doubt there, wasn't there, from Jones, who just hesitated, and that was the hesitation Hazard needed, just to nip in, get the ball down, and immediately set off directly towards the penalty area.
Well, Giroud actually done well for him as well, because he was taking up Smalling, so he made the run to the left-hand side. The gap between the two centre-halves was huge. Hazard's first touch, as Sean alluded to, was magnificent, and then the burst of pace to get the wrong side of Jones, who had to make a challenge, and I think he was trying to more block a shot, and then he caught Hazard, and I think it was a genuine attempt. I think the yellow card was right
decision. Yeah, Bakayoko just been fouled by Sanchez. Big day for Bakayoko today after what has been a really disappointing first season in the Premier League for Tiamoué Bakayoko. Here is Alonso, but the ball bounced off him, and Valencia was quickly all over him. The ball cleared away towards the halfway line, and referee Oliver says, in fact, there was an offside flag up, so it's a free kick, but Chelsea take the free kick in the wrong place. Fabregas, a little bit of experience from him there, taking the free kick, knew it would be brought back, just settling Chelsea down when they're leading by 1-0. We've got just over 10 minutes to go to half-time here, Wembley Stadium, with 90,000 or so people inside it watching Hazard, the goal scorer. Little flick towards Giroud. Now here's Alonso on the left-hand side, the stately Chelsea left wing-back. Back towards Fabregas, an FA Cup final winner with Arsenal many, many years ago in his young days. Fabregas again on his right foot, little ball towards the edge of the penalty area, that was blocked away. Comes back for Bakayoko, who's just a little touch, that can all it have been from Sanchez, went down, wins the free kick.
Yeah, I thought it was a foul. Sanchez backtracking, stuck his right leg out. definite foul now. Great opportunity for Chelsea. What are we, John? 22, 23 yards out to the left of David Dea's goal.
So Alonso, a number of Chelsea players are gathered around here. It's out towards the left corner of the penalty area, and just a little touch from Sanchez. We're just saying that again, but Alonso runs his fingers through his hair. Fabregas is there as well. Alonso's bending over and placing the ball. Referee Oliver is just coming across because Sanchez is only 2 or 3 yards away from the ball. Michael Oliver is suggesting that he moves the full 10 yards away. Fabregas on his right foot. It's the better angle for him. The Manchester United wall is ready. Here's Fabregas, up shoots into the top of the wall, blocked by a Manchester United head, and the ball bounces out towards this side of the field, the United left, where Ashley Young played it forward, but Kante was there to easily get there first to the ball. Courtois chosen ahead of Caballero. Long ball downfield from the Chelsea goalkeeper. Bakayoko got a touch on it. Jones was with him. Jones, who is obviously on a yellow card after the conceding of the penalty. Here's Moses now on the right hand side. Moses checks back, plays it infield towards Kante, the Chelsea supporters player of the year this season, N'Golo Kante. Now back towards the halfway line to the ever dependable Azpilicueta. Bakayoko, low ball diagonally in towards the edge of the D, but Smalling just stepped back and played it into the centre circle. Kante with a header out towards the right, but it didn't reach Alonso. Valencia was trying to take it on, but Rudiger was there to tidy up for Chelsea, and the ball is back to Courtois, who strikes it away downfield first time. It's a high one for Giroud to challenge against Smalling. It bounces down for Matic, and Matic will deal with it at the back for Manchester United, who will start from halfway inside their own half. We're into the final 10 minutes of the first half, with Chelsea leading by 1-0. And here is Phil Jones, 10 yards inside his own half. Now Nemanja Matic. Remember that fantastic goal that he scored in the semi-final for Chelsea last season here. Young, ball over the top into the full-back position. Pogba's after it, and then the challenge hit on him from Azpilicueta, who slides into the corner flag and kicks it clean out of the ground. Be a throw-in next to the corner flag. Or is it a corner? It is a corner, so Pogba's going to leave it.
Need a substitute corner flag here, I think.
Is it? No, there's someone appeared from, as if by magic.
And he took it. It's a comedy fall. As long as he's all right, it's a comedy fall.
The member
health
of the ground.
Safety there, good health and safety.
Yes, the member of the ground. I'll tell you in a minute. Sanchez is going to take the corner. Here it is, in towards the near post, where it's sliced away straight behind by Fabregas. The member of the ground staff who appeared leapt over the electronic hoardings, replaced the corner flag, and then tried to leap over as if it was a 5-bar gate, and the hoarding gave way underneath him, and he's now actually repairing it as well. He's a jack of all trades. Sanchez with this latest corner underneath the crossbar, and caught easily by Courtois, who will underarm it out quickly to the bearded Fabregas. Little pass forward, Fabregas has given it away because Jesse Lingard was all over that. So Manchester United sweep forward again from right to left, but Sanchez has given it away. More groans from Manchester United supporters. And now Chelsea, who've grown in confidence, as you would think they would, having taken the lead in the final here. Chelsea, the runners-up last season when they were going for the double, remember, against Arsenal. Here's Azpilicueta, who goes back to goal scorer Hazard, who's going to have a little run forward from the halfway line. He's gone past 2 United men, goes between Pogba and Lingard, who are furious that he's been given the free kick. Hazard.
Yeah, it was good play from Hazard. I thought it was Lingard who was backtracking, who committed the foul. I think Pogba won the ball, but because Hazard went in between the pair of them, it was Lingard who I believe committed the foul. And I think another good decision from Michael Oliver.
Well, sorry, Sean.
No, I was just going to say, with the team they put out, Man United, with the
from that point of view, the spokesman. Two of them in discussions with Michael Oliver, and then they're sent away. So, throwing for Chelsea on the right here. Eventually, the ball boy gives the ball to Moses, takes the throw to Hazard, bounces off his chest. Hazard, who, I mean, he looks completely different in terms of body language and everything from the Hazard that I watched at St James's Park last Sunday afternoon. Ball bounces out of play. Hazard says that should be his throw. Cheers from the United fans because it's given as a United throw.
You know, you're looking at the shape of the United side, and at times these United players are looking around and thinking, who's marking who, what are we doing? You know, there's a lot of frustration out there because they're playing within themselves, it looked like, defensively. They just can't get the ball to the front three. You know, how many times has Rashford touched the ball, Sanchez touched the ball, Pogba, who's not hardly had a touch of it. So defensively, you know, it's a defensive-minded side, Jose's put out today.
Yep, and Herrera's effectively out of the game because he's looking after Hazard. And Hazard has scored the goal. And it was Hazard who won the penalty. Here's United, won a throw-in near the corner flag down on the left-hand side as they attack. Young, waiting to take this. Ashley Young, who'll be going to the World Cup, almost 33 years old. Young takes the throw to his World Cup teammate. It's Matic on the left-hand side now into the penalty area, tries to work it across, it takes a deflection, Young's after it again, there are blue shirts all round. With 3 minutes. Leading Manchester United by a goal to nil in the FA Cup final. Celtic won the Scottish Cup final by 2 goals to nil against Motherwell. We may well hear more on that at half-time. They've completed the double treble. Play there, Moses. It's a free kick to United.
Well, it's exactly the same position. You know, when Shaw mentioned that Sanchez put the ball to Herrera, who had a shot, it's exactly the same place. Put the ball in the box. I know the sun's gone now of Courtois' his eyes. Just put it in there. It's going to be Rashford this time who can deliver a fantastic set piece.
Yeah, he's looking to, or he will be about to look to whip it in right-footed. 2-man Chelsea wall. Crucial moments these in the cup final. Rashford strikes it straight into the wall, straight into Moses. Did well actually to adjust, and from him it deflected behind for a corner. We are now in the 45th minute. Corner to Manchester United, who lead, who trail by 1 goal to nil. Rashford will take this one. Here it is to the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's headed away well. And then Young plays it back into the back post, where it's headed down and wide of the far post.
Piece
discussion. over it. Giroud tried to give it back to him, but passed it straight to Herrera. And Manchester United survive a mini scare there as Pogba does well to keep his feet against Bakayoko and then finds Sanchez. And Sanchez now, for once, Chelsea struggling to get back. Sanchez plays it to Pogba. The ball runs towards Rashford, who snatched at it, miskicked it, and it was blocked by Rudiger.
There's Pogba at his best, as Sean said. Open those legs, drive through the centre of the park. He does that. Chance for Rashford, scuffed it. Half-time whistle, John.
Yeah, simply, that's the Pogba we've not seen enough of in this match, and really not seen enough for Manchester United. Another discussion point. But Chelsea are leading at half-time in the Emirates FA Cup final. Manchester
on, because the pace on the turnover of play is what Man United have got, and they've only broke the play a couple of times. You do that, gaps do appear, and I think that's going to be massive in the second half. Either Lukaku getting his chance to go and play if he is fit, or they've got to change the tempo of the game, Man U, because they have plenty of the ball. The other hand, Chelsea have been very resolute, very organised, and they've scored a goal, obviously, that's got their noses in front.
And Sean, therefore, given that Ander Herrera is, to all intents and purposes, the right-sided centre-half of a three, to switch that, to make the transition... Then
Herrera in a side like Manchester United, they do have the ball, and they have had the ball today, so therefore he's got to play his part with the ball. As you suggest, he's been drifting out to the right side to go and get the ball. So Hazard, to his credit, either he's done it just because he found himself there, but I would suggest he's probably thought, hang on a minute, he's following me around, so I'm going to nip off over the other side of the pitch and see if he wants to follow me over there. Now, what I'm suggesting is if it would have been Robbie was over back, and they probably would have followed him over there, but we're looking at Herrera, and he is trying to free himself up when Man United have got the ball, but when they haven't, You know,
is bang on with that if he deems that Phil Jones made a genuine attempt to play the ball.
But listen, you've got a former Premier League player, what fantastic commentator, two fantastic commentators, Jaap Stam's biggest fan, you chappers, and a Premier League manager, and we all thought the same thing. He's made a genuine attempt to play the ball, therefore yellow card.
Robbie Savage, Sean Dyche, John Murray and Ian Dennis will have the second half for you in around 12 minutes or so. Chelsea a goal to the good.
That I am, I give to you.
All that I am, I give to you.
After a kiss on the steps of the chapel, a newly
up close like that, she was absolutely radiant. She was sparkling. Harry just looked so happy. Just you could see the joy in his eyes. It was just wonderful.
Prince Charles will tonight hold a private reception for Harry and Meghan, who are now known as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. In other news, Cuba has declared 2 days of mourning after a passenger plane crashed and exploded. More than 100 people on the Boeing 737 were killed. A vigil's taken place to remember the 10 people killed in yesterday's shooting at a school in Texas. A 17-year-old pupil at Santa Fe High is being held on suspicion of murder. And Labour members have selected Janet Davey to fight next month.
Goal to nil here at Wembley. Eden Hazard from the penalty spot. Earlier, Celtic completed their second domestic treble in a row with a 2-0 win over Motherwell in the Scottish Cup final. Here's Brendan Rodgers.
Well, I'm so happy for everyone involved, the players, staff, supporters. It's an incredible achievement by everyone over these last couple of years, and like I say, I thought we thoroughly deserved it. I mentioned for Motherwell because they've had a great season, getting to 2 cup finals. Stephen's done a brilliant job with them. But today I thought we thoroughly deserved it.
I said to a few of the players, I get the feeling that this achievement might not be fully appreciated for years to come.
No, it won't be. I said to the players, like I said before the game, that
Tompkins for Wigan, Harvey Levett and Stephen Ratchford for Warrington, but it's been Sam Tompkins kicking 4 goals compared to Bryson Goodwin's 1 that has put the Warriors in front. But as I say, a fine contest, a proper arm wrestle, second half
More live sport on 5 Live this evening, and Carl Frampton will be ringside for us as Lee Selby defends his IBF World Love lost between these two, Mike.
No, not at all. It's been tetchy in the build-up all the way through to the weigh-in yesterday when supporters of Josh Warrington barracked Lee. So the atmosphere tonight is expected to be pretty hostile. These are heady times in British boxing, Mark. This is the 5th stadium fight in little over a year. Upwards of 20,000 are expected at Ellen Road here this evening as Josh Warrington attempts about close.
And John Murray to come, but first of all, Ian Dennis, your senior football reporter. It doesn't look like Manchester United
that is yet to have a shot on target in this FA Cup final, and Manchester United, if they're to get back level against Chelsea. Slender lead, 1-0 to Chelsea midway. Jones with a far post header, also off target, but Manchester United have to do better. And remember, Jose Mourinho, who stands there in the technical area, England, one of course in the FA Cup when he was manager of Chelsea, 4 times in the League Cup. Valencia, Smalling, Jones and Young. The midfield of Herrera, Matic and Pogba, Sanchez, Lingard and Rashford. And for Chelsea, Courtois in goal, a back three of Azpilicueta, Rudiger and Cahill. Moses and Alonso are the wing backs, right and left respectively. Let's just break off as here is Valencia in a pocket of sunshine at Wembley Stadium, and he'll win a corner off the legs of oh no, it's judged to have been a goal kick. So just to finish off that Chelsea side, Bakayoko, Kante and Fabregas, and Giroud and Hazard are the two up front. And in fact, for both Sanchez and Giroud, they are the first players since Brian Talbot back in 78 and 79 to play in consecutive finals for different clubs. Of course, Talbot with Ipswich and Arsenal, but both Sanchez and Giroud emulating that feat. And we talk about the proud record that Jose Mourinho has in cup competitions for Antonio Conte. He's hoping it's a case of third time lucky, because he's never won a cup final as a manager, although of course he had plenty of success as a player, and this might be his final time in the Chelsea dugout, because the speculation is rife that his reign is set to end after this game. His team lead by 1-0 as Rashford now darts onto this ball right hand side, and it runs out of play, and it'll be a Chelsea throw down by the corner flag as they attack the end that is populated by the Manchester United supporters away to our right. The red end, the royal blue, still bathing in sunshine behind that goal of David De Gea away to our left. But 2 minutes in, Sean, what do you think that Mourinho would have said at half-time?
I'd be surprised if he didn't say they've got to raise the tempo in their passing. It's methodical and a little bit slow by their standards. I think I would imagine said mix the play as well. You've got to switch it with more pace. When you get into that top third, get an earlier crossing, and also try and ask more questions of the centre-halves for Chelsea, and that's mainly with set-piece quality and working on transition and the movement of the front three.
That's the voice of Sean Dyche, the Burnley boss, with us here with the BBC, as a free kick has been awarded to Chelsea. That Courtois, yet to be tested, Robbie. United got to improve.
Yeah, they certainly have. 606 is on later in 08, 08, 59, 09, 693. And if the score stays the same, I can only imagine United fans ringing up, and having a go at the tactics for Manchester United. This is Manchester United in an FA Cup final. They're yet to have a shot on target.
Lingard runs the ball out of play. It will be a Chelsea throw, despite Lingard actually thinking that it went in his favour. Alonso takes it quickly. It's casually laid back by Fabregas. It's hard to believe that Fabregas, his first major trophy was the FA Cup success with Arsenal, but that was 13 years ago. He's looking to add to that now as Alonso plays it forward towards the goal scorer, but Matic gets in front of Hazard, and Michael Oliver, the referee, gives a free kick to Manchester United that Jose Mourinho was willing to actually take over the ball boy duties. He was beaten to it by a TV technician whose headphones slipped off. As it's he can tell you that there's a lot more urgency now from Manchester United, even coming from the sidelines of Jose Mourinho. Pogba in the midfield now for Manchester United, playing from left to right. Lingard drops off 10 yards forward of the centre circle, finds Herrera. Herrera has Valencia outside of him. Here he is on this near touchline, the right. Back with Herrera. Rashford gives it back to the Spaniard, bounces up and strikes the chest of Kante, despite the appeals of handball more from the crowd. Clipped away then by Alonso. Hazard held off by Smalling. Hazard's actually gone down holding his face as Matic comes forward, and referee Michael Oliver points to the head and says they've got to stop play because it's a head injury. And I would imagine that with VAR he'll have Neil Swarbrick in his ear as well from Stockley Park, having a look at this as well, as Hazard's gone down holding his face. Robbie,
that was great skill from Hazard. The ball played up to him, chested it down, flicked over his head, and then Smalling was really close to him. I'm just going to look at the replay here now. He's just stuck his arm out. He hasn't swung an arm there, Smalling. Hardly any contact whatsoever. Hazard goes down.
I think, judging by this, I think Man United have definitely come out with a little sharper edge to them, it looks to me. I know we're only 4 minutes in, but it seems that to me. I'm intrigued by, I'd love to know what Conte said, because it's like stick or twist. Do you stick with the game plan so far, which is keep your distances, keep them outside of your box, make sure that you're good on transition and the breakaway, or do you think the more that Man United have to come and attack, can we work slightly more open and go and open them up on the counter a bit more cleanly? So I'd be intrigued to know what Conte said to him, what their thoughts are.
Let's just nip to the touchline. Vicky Sparks.
Well, Conte just having the question with Lee Mason over whether there should have been further punishment for Smalling, but nowhere near as animated as in the first half when he was protesting that Phil Jones should have been sent off after conceding that penalty. Jose Mourinho stands, hands on hips, watching on, trying to find a way back against his former club.
We said it in commentary at the time, but Michael Oliver with the correct decision to show Jones just that yellow card when he conceded the penalty. 5 Live on the World Series from the BBC. Of course, this time next week we'll be really building up towards the Champions League final in Kiev. Kelly Cates in Kiev on Thursday, the big Champions League preview on Friday night from Ukraine, and all the build-up from noon next Saturday. Real Madrid against Liverpool, the Champions League. The only radio station that will be in Ukraine bringing you live commentary, and that's the BBC. Here is Lingard, bursting forward for Manchester United. Out towards Young, left-hand side, does the step over, goes to ground, wins a free kick.
He's looked the most lively going forward for Manchester United, Ashley Young, on that left-hand side. You know, this time he does a double step over, cuts back to whip it on his right foot, and Moses, who's doing his job, tracking back, commits the foul.
Is he just going to get a talking to Victor Moses from Michael Oliver, or is he going to show the yellow? Of course, it's the player who was sent off in the final against Arsenal last year. It's a lengthy talking to that Michael Oliver has given to the Nigerian, who walks away, and no yellow card brandished. But this free kick for Manchester United is level with the penalty area. On that far side, the left, Jones is forward, Sanchez is lurking, Smalling's up from the back, Matic is in there as well, as is Pogba. It's going to be Rashford to take it on that far side, the left. He wraps his foot around it now, and it's fisted away, two-handed by Courtois, up in the air, back header away by Moses. Might have been winded in the process, as a free kick is awarded it in favour of Chelsea on the edge of their penalty area, who still lead by a 1-0. But there has been an increase in the tempo, hasn't there, from United?
Well, also there's a bit of psychology to it, kicking into the fans, of course, the Man U fans, that is, you know, and I think that always adds a different feel to a team's performance, or often does. Definitely a shift in their mentality to play with more tempo, good quality going in the box there, a bit more doubt in Chelsea now. See if they, as I said, I'll be intrigued to know if they're content to stick with their game plan, which is stay organised and look for their moments.
Manchester United trailing by a 1-0, but coming forward now with Young, the left back, over the halfway line, finds Pogba. Pogba over the halfway line, running forward now. Sanchez, Chilean, trying to turn away from Azpilicueta, picks out Young, back to Sanchez, infield, goes underneath Pogba, had to stretch there as he just poked it into the path of Herrera. Now with Valencia, early ball inside to Pogba, challenged by Bakayoko. Valencia had to help out. Manchester United with the ball, but trailing in this FA Cup final. Matic to Jones, forward ball, pushed to the feet of Sanchez. Fabregas is in front of him, out towards Young, level with the area, can't deliver the ball just yet. Sanchez goes back in field. Matic coming forward, faced by two players, threads it through, then Young lays it back. Lingard forward to Sanchez, very patient play. Lingard into the penalty area, Lingard still going, couldn't get the shot away, wouldn't just fall into the path of Young, as Chelsea will clear. They try and win it back. Herrera does exactly that. Herrera now with Young. Young fires in the shot, and off his left foot. It was always rising and out for a goal kick, but much better from Manchester United, but still yet to have a shot on target.
Better intensity, but you've seen the man for Chelsea, the defensive qualities, that man Kante. He went with a 1-2, he didn't buy it, great defending. Then United kept winning the second ball, eventually fell to Young. You know, it was poor quality with a cross, but as Sean's alluded to, they've come out with more pace, more intensity, they're more dynamic, and are causing Chelsea a few problems.
I think on Kante as well, one of you commented earlier, oh, Kante's there, and I thought, Kante's always there. Trust me, he's always there.
The dynamic N'Golo Kante, who seems to get everywhere, the little dynamo in the midfield, diminutive figure, but a bundle of energy. As Matic out to Young, Fabregas is putting him under pressure. Young will try and turn, actually stops playing, he thought there was a free kick, and as Moses starts forward on that right hand side, Michael Oliver will give that free kick to Manchester United. Lukaku's on the move. Vicky Sparks touchline.
He's warming up on the touchline. He can barely take his eyes off the game, jogging backwards, but vision fixed on what's happening. I've been trying to get a bit of inside information, Ian, because I'm actually sitting next to
Valencia around the back. Valencia into the penalty area. Valencia cuts it back and it goes behind Lingard. And Chelsea will know. Chelsea have given the ball away. Rashford beaten out by Courtois. Sanchez picks it back up, edge of the penalty area. Here is Pogba, chips it forward and into the arms of Courtois.
What a ball that was. What a ball. To find that great run, much more dynamic from Manchester United. What people have sometimes questioned this season is this feel of a game when the intensity to their passing, the intensity of the movement, everyone wanted to make a difference. I think, it bodes well, but of course you've got to do that consistently because Chelsea are a very, very strong side defensively. They're not just going to lay down.
That was the first shot on target for Manchester United in the 56th minute. From Rashford. It was straight at Courtois as Chelsea are forward here. Fabregas goes down. No free kick. Conte can't believe it. Manchester United come forward now. The game's just starting to open up as Manchester United increase the tempo. Trailing by a goal to nil. Pogba charging forward, running at the heart of the Chelsea defence. Pogba with a shot, takes a deflection, loops up in the air and behind for a corner kick.
Better game now. Fabregas went to ground too easily on the edge of United's penalty area, then they broke. Pogba ended up with a shot from distance, deflection for a corner, but the game certainly opened up.
There is hope for the Manchester United supporters as they trail by a goal to nil. Corner kick far side to left. Didn't beat the first man, headed away with ease by Fabregas. Hazard the goal scorer, good control, excellent balance as he runs away from Herrera. Over the halfway line, just slows down, waits for Alonso on the overlap, and then he's taken out by Valencia. And that'll be a yellow card to the Manchester United captain.
Brilliant play from Hazard, taking the pressure off his side. Went past Herrera, cut inside, and Valencia had to bring him down because Moses had made a great run on that right-hand side. Hazard was looking for the pass, and Valencia took Hazard out, committed the foul, professional foul, and got a yellow card for it.
Hazard now will wait and just plays it short and square. Kante forward of the centre circle. Azpilicueta coming forward for Chelsea. Out towards that side, it's Fabregas who plays it into the penalty area. One bounce and brought under control by the arms of De Gea, who races to the edge of his area. Looks to see where he can release the ball to it. In fact, it's an underarm throw out to Valencia, the right back. Infield to Matic. Herrera now onto the ball for Manchester United, and he runs into the centre circle to Pogba, who's out to his left. Sanchez back with Pogba, sold him a little bit short. Pogba had to use his strength to hold off Fabregas. Jones. Chelsea have everybody back inside their own half. The royal blue of Chelsea, who lead by a goal to nil here on the BBC. Valencia now comes forward. Lingard's in support. Valencia with a back heel, didn't quite come off. And as Sean Dyche says, Kante's everywhere, and there he was inside the penalty area, but it actually goes out of play, and it's a Manchester United throw as the red flags are being waved in front of us here in our commentary box at Wembley Stadium. And that shaft of sunlight where Matic now goes into the shadows, and he's wrestled to the floor by Bakayoko, and it's a free kick.
I think one thing that's going to gain importance if Man United can keep this tempo up, Chelsea, they had a chance there to keep the ball and they slung across him. I think sometimes the game management is keeping the ball.
Sanchez into the penalty area. Pogba was forward, couldn't bring it under control, comes out as far as Matic. He strikes it, hits it right-footed, but it was always going wide, dragged it well wide from the edge of the area. Chelsea still lead by a goal to nil.
Yeah, he was in a position there where he found himself against Crystal Palace. Remember when he smashed one in from 25 yards? It was on his right foot this time, it was bouncing. Great opportunity, but it is better for Manchester United.
Should just say as well, where we mentioned about Jose Mourinho's record in finals, he's won 12 of 14 cup finals, but he's never lost in normal time. His two defeats, the Portuguese Cup in 2004 and the Spanish Cup in 2013, were both after extra time, and he will still be thinking of a way to try and get his side back level. Will we see Lukaku as we approach the hour mark here inside Wembley Stadium? De Gea.
For all the question marks, what we've got to remember is a serial winner. So he'll not be panicking. No. You know, whatever we think, he'll not be panicking down there. He'll be observing this, thinking, right, what do I need to change? And most importantly, when do I need to change it?
20 major trophies backing up the fact that he is a serial winner, Jose Mourinho. Might well face criticism if they don't win here today, for certainly their approach in the first half as they trail by 1-0. Rudiger tries to set Hazard away. He's scampering after it, and he's kept the ball in play on the left-hand side. Hazard now into the penalty area. Hazard down towards the byline, pulls it across, saved at the near post by David De Gea.
Great play from Rudiger, wasn't it? But that's the confusion there. Who's picking up? Herrera's pointing to Jones or Smalling, and in the end neither person goes with him. He's now driving to the box. Comfortable save for David De Gea, but certainly opened up the game, Ian.
Much better spectacle second half. Lingard, man over left hand side. Young level the penalty area. Young waits, turns, gets away from Moses, delivers a cross, but it's too deep.
Do you know what's amazing about football? We often talk, particularly in this modern era, of tactics, technical. Do you know what's actually changed this game? The feel in the stadium, tempo. It's actually physicality, it's actually running ability, the fact to get on the front foot, the mentality of a group of players say, right, let's go and demand more from each other. Because the whole feel in the stadium's changing, because Man United have lifted the tempo, and now Chelsea, like say, stick or twist. Do they stick with their game plan, or do they look to search to keep the ball better and maybe open up the play? It's a tough call.
It feels to be more momentum about Manchester United, whereas in the first half they were disjointed. As Rashford drops to his knees, quickly tries to get back up, unable to get back up because there was a hand there by Alonso, and it's a free kick to Manchester United, who at the moment are carrying much more of a threat than they did in the first half. 62 minutes in. We've got the big fight tonight on 5 Live from Ellen Road. Mike Costello, Carl Frampton, part of our commentary team as well. Lee Selby against Josh Warrington from 10 o'clock at Ellen Road on 5 Live. Rashford with the free kick into the penalty area. Great save by Courtois. Flags up, won't count. Disallowed goal. Sanchez pounced inside the 6-yard area. The angle was tight, but the referee's assistant raised his flag straight away on this near side. It will be referred by VAR, but the referee's assistant had no hesitation.
I've got to say, first and foremost, I thought Sanchez communication. We're just going to see it now. It's a great delivery from Rashford, and he's onside. I think he's onside. I think Rudiger plays him on, Sean. Look at the replay here.
Yeah, just looking now.
Oh, look at I think he's a foot off. His right foot's offside.
It was a terrific reflex.
Well, don't forget that's what it's there for. VAR. It's to bring up.
Here after making the save, I think he collided with the post. So I think his foot's offside. So I think it's a correct decision, and what a call that is. Yeah.
One thing for sure that I mentioned earlier, set pieces are still 25 to 30% of goals over a season. You put in quality, it puts doubt, and if you put in quality enough over 90 minutes, you will get chances, and that proves it, because that's a great ball in, and they gain a chance for it.
So the goal is ruled out. Neil Swarbrick would have had a long look at that. It's tight.
Call,
but it is
and
the right call.
That's what VAR's there for, is come up with the correct decision, and it's a great call from the assistant on this side.
Courtois, who picked up an injury in making the initial save before the rebound was tucked in by Sanchez, and in fact Lee Mason has just referred that to Jose Mourinho, a nod of the head from the Manchester United manager down below, and Courtois had treatment and is fit to continue. However, he's still struggling as he's cleared that ball away downfield, so we'll have to keep an eye on Courtois as Manchester United, 64 minutes in, 5 Live in the World Service from the BBC. But United are coming forward, and over the halfway line is Matic, who now gets it back, tall and lean, the Serbian midfielder. Pogba goes on the outside of him on that left-hand side, midway through the Chelsea half, gets it back from Sanchez, forward then towards Young. Moses is tight behind him, very, very confined. It goes out of play. It's a Manchester United throw that they want to take. United looking for an equaliser. Still that Hazard penalty in the first half is the difference between the two. Here is Smalling. Smalling now from the edge of the centre circle, rolls the ball out towards this near side to Valencia, back with Herrera. Matic as Giroud will run towards him. Giroud, who's unbeaten in 10 games here at Wembley, his last 10 fixtures.
What I will say about the mentality of this Manchester United side, why do they have to start playing when they go down against in the big game? Spurs in the semi-final, we've seen in the derby 2-0 down, we've seen against Sevilla when they went 2-0 down at home but scored and played their best football. When they go down, they seem to be a different side.
Very cautious approach in the first half, and that might well come back to haunt them, with Hazard converting that penalty as Matic now comes forward of the centre circle. Diagonal ball, picks out Sanchez midway through the Chelsea half. Central position, Lingard out towards Valencia, right corner of the penalty area. Alonso stands his ground, helped out by Bakayoko as he tries to go round the outside or the inside of Alonso. The clearance by Rudiger out of play that they want to take quickly, Manchester United, as Herrera bellows at the ball boy, gets it back. Here is Herrera. Lingard chips it forward. He was caught there as well, was Jesse Lingard, and he clearly felt that as Rudiger once again puts it out of play. Safety first, but United trying to build up a head of steam down the right-hand side. 66 minutes into this game. Valencia, as the Manchester United supporters try and urge their side on. Rashford. Valencia looking to Rashford once again. Kante, though, will dispossess him. Kante now will bring the ball away. Can't thread it through the legs, stopped by Herrera. Lingard with a layoff towards Sanchez. Fabregas was alert to take it back off him, back towards Courtois. Clears right-footed. Matic and Pogba will both go for the same ball. It's brought under control by Pogba. Outside the centre circle, out towards Ashley Young. On that far side, the left, just the one goal, the difference between these two sides in the 137th FA Cup final. As Young, forward now, left-hand side, overruns it, goal kick.
Yeah, Young in the conversation there with Azpilicueta, thought he was fouled. I've got to say, I'm not sure he was. Thought Azpilicueta just held his ground. But the full-backs for United have been the most positive players in forward areas, Young and Valencia. They're switching the ball quickly, as Sean said they should do at half-time, and that's what they've been doing.
Well, the FA Cup in '97 ended a 26-year drought for trophies. Since then, Chelsea have collected 19 in the space of 21 years. Will they be able to add to that tally? Will Antonio Conte be going out on a high note, if he is, of course, to leave his position as manager of Chelsea after this FA Cup final? We're midway through the second half. You're listening to the BBC, and to take you through to the end of 90 minutes, here's John Murray.
And here is Lingard away down the right-hand side, winning a corner off Alonso, who stuck his left leg out as he drove towards the byline. Corner to Manchester United. Giroud's
going to be really important, if this game carries on like this, because Man U are getting the flow of traffic, but they're also getting the press on. So when it comes out, Giroud's got to try and work hard to get hold of it.
Corner then. Rashford waits to take it. Right footer from the right side to the near post, where it's headed away calmly towards the out of play next to just about level with the edge of the penalty area by Giroud. Now Rashford takes a quick throw. Rashford drives it in low. Lingard steps over it, but it didn't run as he hoped it would for Pogba on the edge of the box. And now Chelsea are away on the counter-attack, leading as they are by 1-0. Manchester United quickly back, but Hazard weaving one way and then the other, and Smalling does very well, actually. Watched him closely and timed his challenge perfect.
These are the moments, these transitions, these are really important.
Given away though on the halfway line by Manchester United. Now Azpilicueta will take it on forward after Pogba's poor pass presented it to the Spaniard. Azpilicueta turns and then plays it back to Bakayoko. And Chelsea, blue shirts, blue shorts, white socks, both in their first choice kits. Here's Alonso on the left hand side. Alonso lifts a high pass towards the back post, where it's taken down by Young and whacked out on the volley for a throw-in over on the far side.
Going to that cross from Rashford, Lingard steps over. He's got to hit it with his right foot, unless he got given a shout over, or whatever they shout in this modern day football. Hit the ball with your right foot. It was a great opportunity.
Martial, I think. Martial getting ready to come on. It looks like anyway.
So, I mean, a raft of substitutes have been warming up for most of the second half so far, including Caballero. It looks as though Courtois is okay, and here he is actually, Courtois out of his penalty area. Left foot clearance downfield, high towards Giroud, but Smalling beats him in the air, but Kante picks up the ball. Kante now to the edge of the area. Kante lays it to his right. This is a chance for Alonso, and the shot is saved. Alonso, who was in there, De Gea made the block. Still the ball is live inside the penalty area, and it's blocked behind now for a corner, but the suggestion is that there might have been a handball in there. That's what Chelsea, Victor Moses is appealing for a handball
from Ashley Young, which we'll see in a minute. But for the chance for Alonso, it was on his left foot. He tried to shift it onto his right. In the end, David De Gea made a save, and then now obviously Michael Owen's seen of his handball. It was a great opportunity for Alonso. David De Gea with a save, and as the ball comes out, we're just going to see it now. Ashley Young's arm out to the side.
The arm is outstretched to the side of his body. Michael Oliver.
Oh, I think it's on ball.
Michael Oliver is in communication with Neil Swarbrick, and the decision clearly is that is not a penalty. They are sticking with the original decision. Well, it looked like a case.
That's a lucky one, it looks like to me, to get away with that.
It's a corner then for Chelsea from the right-hand side. This is, to me, a slight variation in how we're seeing VAR applied. Here's the corner then from Fabregas, deep towards Rudiger, but it's headed up actually by Cahill at the back post.
What I'd like to hear now is a current Premier League manager, when that decision goes against you, just shout how you'd react. Be great radio.
I told you before, we can't get a penalty, mate, so it makes no odds to me about penalties. You lot can talk about them. We ain't having over calendar years. I don't want to mention it. I don't like to mention it.
Sean, you're on holiday.
Calendar year.
You're on holiday. Ease up. You don't. I love the way that you're using the media, though, even when you're on your holidays.
It's only a calendar year, that was all.
Just a calendar year.
A calendar year, that's all. So over a calendar year.
Yeah. Excellent. Well
only
done.
9 not given. Thanks.
Sean Dyche, the Burnley manager. That decision, Robbie, seen what Manchester United coming forward. Little ball to Lingard. Lingard through to Rashford. Rashford with a chance. It's blocked by Courtois and it bounces back onto Rashford. And it's deflected behind. I think it deflected off his arm in the end. Rashford. And behind for a goal kick.
It's a great run from Rashford on the right-hand side. Right to left. He just pulled on the back of Rudiger. Cahill couldn't come across. It's a great ball from Lingard. And as Courtois comes out, he spares himself. Rashford tries to lift it over him. Great save with his shoulder. Then comes off Rashford.
It's one of the rare times, Robbie, we've seen that gap between the midfield and the centre-backs of Chelsea. You know, they get in there. Once you get in there, you get turned. Rashford's done the right thing and drove as soon as the players turn. He's driven in between the centre-halves.
Well, the two great mates, the England World Cup players, Rashford and Lingard, combined there, and that's their last contribution. They are both substituted. It's a double change. Anthony Martial is on, and Romelu Lukaku makes his return as a substitute in the 73rd minute. So we'll find out now just how fit he is. United's leading scorer, 27 goals this season, and there he is now, huge figure against this Chelsea club that he dearly wanted to be a success, to be the successor to Drogba, really. And now he's playing against them in the FA Cup final here at Wembley, where Chelsea are leading by 1-0 and Alonso clearing the ball, but it's charged down by Sanchez. Now in the area with Valencia. First touch from Lukaku. It runs to Martial, who hits the shot, but it's deflected down, took the pace off it, and it bounces up nicely for Courtois.
I tell you what, it's great defending from Azpilicueta, and he celebrated there with that block like he scored a goal. We've seen Atletico Madrid, you know, in midweek win the Europa League, and Golding with great defensive qualities, and there Azpilicueta celebrates like he stopped, like he scored a goal. Great challenge.
You're spot on. That's a fantastic block, and they're going to need that if this game, the feel of this game, continues like this. Because Man United are knocking on the door now. You know, we went from a stage where we said they haven't even had a shot on target. Now they're peppering the goal at times, only for spells. Chelsea have got to get hold of the ball for me. They've got to keep the ball.
This is the FA Cup final on BBC Radio, on 5 Live and the World Service. If you're on your way home, it's on BBC One as well, once you get in. But it is fascinatingly poised, and I would not rule out the fact that we might hear more from Ian Dennis yet. 1-0, but Manchester United pushing for an equaliser. Once the game is over, Robbie hosts 606, and the lines are open. 08 085 909 693. United passing the ball around the edge of the penalty area. Sanchez takes it on, turns, manages to get the crossover. A diving header away by Cahill. Chelsea still haven't cleared the lines. It's hooked away high towards us by Alonso, and out of play for a throw into Manchester United. Get in touch as well, social media at BBC 606 to book your call with Robbie Savage to talk about the cup final. Sanchez crosses towards the penalty spot, cleared away by Fabregas. Anxious moments these. Herrera heads it forward. There's Gary Cahill again to step forward and head it up towards the halfway line, where Giroud gets a bang on the back of the head, and Jones, who challenged him, takes a knock on the front of his face. Jones stays on his feet, but Giroud's gone down, and Giroud is just rubbing the back of his head. He's got one knee on the ground and his other foot planted, and Jones, there's some concern here over Phil Jones, possibly the greater of the two. Maybe his nose or is it forehead? Anyway, we'll have a little stoppage here. So Robbie and Sean.
Well, going back to that, Ashley Young handball decision, obviously it's got to be a clear and obvious error, which
Correct.
Obviously the assistant or the official didn't think it was. But I've got to say, I thought Ashley Young's arm was outstretched from his body. Was there a movement to his arm towards the ball?
Depends what the discussion is, though, between the officials and whether Michael Oliver has said, yeah, I saw it, but for me it wasn't a penalty.
I think in his favour is maybe the short distance. I'll give him that. He's flicked it at the arm, and I don't think his arm's radically moved, but it's a short distance one. But it still looks like, well, we've all seen them given, let's put it that way.
I think there's blood there for Jones, who's run off the field. So Vicky Sparks is just a few yards away really from where Jones is being treated down there. Vicky.
Yes, and Eric Bailly is poised and ready to come on if Phil Jones can't continue. He's actually having black tape just wrapped around his head. Of course he will want to continue, the Manchester United and England defender. Bailly ready and waiting. And that inside information I was trying to get you on Romelu Lukaku. I'm actually sitting next to a member of Manchester United's medical staff. No room for him on the row in front, so he's sitting back with us. I was trying to get out of him how long Romelu Lukaku might last. It seems as though the answer is 17 and a half minutes or so.
Plus the possibility of extra time. 1-0 to Chelsea, 5 live in the World Service. What a pass from Cahill to Alonso on the left-hand side. Alonso now, who has a goal in him, turns the ball to his left though, to Hazard, who drives it across, takes a double deflection. Valencia bounce back to the United captain, and he clears it up towards Lukaku, who chests it down inside his own half, plays it to Pogba. First time pass from Pogba to the left-hand side. Now,
this is where he's good, Martial, at this, running at people, getting them on the back foot.
Martial running at the Chelsea defence, gives it to Young, who's on the left-hand side on the overlap. Young turns, gives it back to Martial. Martial, cross deflected straight to Fabregas, who's able to control it and pass it away. That is a wonderful pass from Fabregas to find Kante. Kante only has Giroud ahead of him, so we'll check back and allow Hazard to take it up. And Hazard goes around the outside of his former teammate Matic. He's in the full-back position now, the little Belgian, and squares it brilliantly. It was just evading the run of Fabregas, and Manchester United now play it downfield. The game, as they say, is becoming stretched, and Sanchez is superbly challenged by Kante on the halfway line, and Chelsea have possession back. What a little tackle that was by the Terrier.
Brilliant tackle, in the centre of the park, getting back, sniffing the danger out, and it was a good challenge on Sanchez. Won the ball cleanly. Now Chelsea have comfortable possession.
We are into the last 15 minutes of the 90 in this 2018 Emirates FA Cup final here at Wembley Stadium in the sunshine. Beautiful afternoon for it if you're sitting watching like us. Here's Fabregas, who plays it down into the full-back position for Giroud. Smalling is able to move across, put the challenge in, and it's deflected out of play for a throw-in 10 yards back from the corner flag. Chelsea are in no hurry here. Alonso walks over as though he's on a Saturday afternoon stroll in Hyde Park to take this throw, which he eventually does. Now here's Hazard on the left-hand side. Hazard has Alonso available, plays it back towards Fabregas. Chelsea leading through the first half penalty that was scored by Eden Hazard. Will he be a Chelsea player next season? Here he is, giving it back to Fabregas. Fabregas and Hazard just exchanging passes, frustrating Manchester United. United can do nothing when Chelsea have possession here. And Kante goes all the way back into his own half to Gary Cahill. Cahill then goes for a high pass out towards the right-hand side to Moses, but back-pedalling Young got his head to the ball. Now Pogba holds it up and plays it back towards Young. Young thought about a long ball forward, but instead goes square inside his own half to Herrera. Herrera now opens his legs and crosses the halfway line now for Manchester United as they attack towards the end of Wembley Stadium, where all of the Manchester United fans are watching down. Now the ball to the left-hand side towards Young. Young up against Moses, plays it back towards Pogba. Pogba 30 yards from goal, curls it into the penalty area, but it's punched away by Courtois. Sanchez was the player closest to getting a touch from Manchester United, but the Chelsea goalkeeper took charge. Now Herrera, square again towards Matic on his left foot. He's going to shoot. Oh, he does! And an unconvincing save by Courtois. That must have been moving significantly. And a final adjustment by Courtois to pat it wide.
30 yards out, great strike from Matic on his left foot. Drove it with pace straight at Courtois, but it was moving. and the goalkeeper done the right thing, just palmed it away. Corner United.
I thought for a moment it was like an optical. Here's the corner, played into the penalty area, bounces down for Pogba, then the ball runs free towards Martial, who shoots, and it's deflected by Azpilicueta up in the air, and Courtois is able to move to his right and pat it down. Sean Dyche.
Well, as we've said, I mean, they need a spell. Chelsea have had a couple of spells there. They've given the ball away a bit too cheap. I think they've got to keep it to have them delayed periods to make the Man United players all go back en masse. The more it turns over, the more you've got to fancy Man United, because they are now knocking.
Alonso
break for Hazard here.
Alonso wins the ball. Hazard in the penalty area on the left hand side, turns one way and the other, up against Smalling, who just got a little touch to knock it away back into the full back position.
Great defending, ugly for a centre half. That's great defending.
Yeah, he is. And out, as we keep saying, his issue with Chris Smalling, he is a very, very good out and out defender. Here is Fabregas. Now Fabregas slipping the ball through to Giroud. Giroud dragging it back. And the offside flag was up, and it's a free kick.
The more the game's opened up, we've seen the more creative players get in between the lines and put those passes through. We've had a chance for Alonso, we've had a chance for Rashford. Giroud there just offside, but certainly good players. Martial goes forward.
Martial now into the penalty area, runs his foot over the ball, takes on Azpilicueta. Cahill comes across to block it behind for another corner to Manchester United.
There's another one, question marks. Cahill, experience, defensive responsibility, fantastic that.
Yeah, in the England squad, and I think many of us were pleased to see that. Here is the corner then from the left hand side, swinging. Pogba with a header, but he's headed it wide from 8-9 yards out. I thought that was bound for the bottom corner.
You just wondered, John, if Lukaku or Jones could have gambled. Jones did. Lukaku was on his heels. He just stuck his right leg at it. Lukaku, good header from Pogba. But is it a chance for Lukaku? Has he read the situation? Maybe being a bit harsh, but he just reacted a bit quicker.
Do better with that.
Just bounces wide by a couple of feet. So it's still Chelsea 1, Manchester United 0. Manchester United appearing in what is a record equalling 20th FA Cup final. But with this scoreline, Jose Mourinho, who's standing with his hands on his hips, Mourinho is facing the possibility here of losing a major cup final in the regulation 90 minutes for the very first time in his career. And Manchester United, they are now beginning to create the chances. They have done over the course of the past 20 minutes or so with this increased tempo. But this Chelsea defence, marshalled by Gary Cahill with Azpilicueta and Rudiger either side of him, are holding out. And of course Courtois behind them as well, playing a very important part. Here's Matic.
You see Herrera there releasing himself now, getting into a more attacking position.
Had to happen, didn't it? Lukaku tries to flick it inside the box, but that had a rusty look about it, and he missed it, and it ran through to Courtois.
I don't know what they would have said to Lukaku, but personally I would have said just go and play on the middle man. I would have said just work off the middle centre half. We're not too worried about your work rate going across the back to it. You go and work off the middle centre half.
That's Sean Dyche, Robbie Savage as well with us for the commentary here. Chelsea leading by 1-0, and Giroud just a little late as the clearance was made there by Smalling, but time is of the essence for Manchester United. There are only 6.5 minutes left to play. Smalling picks himself up. Manchester United are on the move again down the left hand side, and here is Pogba swinging a ball back towards Herrera. Took a nice touch. Herrera's ball through the middle. Kante though slid in and was able to prevent it from reaching the intended target, Romelu Lukaku.
Looks like Matic going to come on, John. Will he take off Herrera? Surely don't need Herrera. Matic was chasing the goal with 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, Matic has that creative instinct, doesn't he? He's good around tight areas.
Juan Mata, who we can see as number 8 now down there, but here's Sanchez, right foot, shoots low, but well wide. And he's saying that it took a deflection off Bakayoko, Sanchez, but referee Oliver just ignores Sanchez, who's walking after him. Michael Oliver won't turn his back. It's a goal kick. It was wide by probably 4 yards in the end. He snatched at it. So remember, in this scenario, it will be Manchester United's third change. If we do get extra time, there is the possibility of using a fourth substitute. But with just over 5 minutes to play, it's going to be Chelsea's FA Cup 08085 909 693 to talk about it with Robbie Savage on 606. Get in touch at BBC 606. The Fight from Elland Road is live on 5 Live tonight round about 10 o'clock. And then Manchester United in possession with Valencia, who plays it in field. Martial, he's another one. Will he be a United player next season? Gets a touch. United don't have to start again from the halfway line. Juan Mata is getting his final instructions. Sanchez allows it to run. Lukaku with a touch, but away from Sanchez, who turned and glared at Lukaku. And now it could open up for Chelsea as they come forward with Giroud to Hazard, who pulls the ball down brilliantly. Hazard now just outside the box, takes on the defenders, round Jones. Smalling comes in with a challenge though. Hazard keeps possession. Hazard with a flick, clever flick, with his wrong foot if you like, to Fabregas, who's weaving it around in the full-back area and now running it back towards the halfway line, trying to win the free kick, and he succeeded in doing that. It's a free kick to Chelsea out on the far side, and now we will see Juan Mata come onto the field. In fact, we ran it out of play, Fabregas. It's a throw. And the change, we'll see Phil Jones coming off after that bang in the face. He got his head taped up, so he's taken off a defender, Robbie, and brought on Juan Mata. It's that time, 4 minutes to play.
Yeah, Matic will probably go in the centre half position, or Herrera, one of those two.
And if they're able to find the goal, the possibility of bringing another defender on. But they need to go for it here, Manchester United, trailing by a goal to nil. 3.5 minutes to play now. Manchester United coming forward down the left-hand side in front of a crowd of 87,647. That's the FA Cup final attendance. Here's Matic for Manchester United, just to the left of the middle of the Chelsea half. And it's just to pass the ball around Kante. Then the ball is swung into the Chelsea box. Rudiger got there with the header ahead of Courtois, just on the edge of the 6-yard area. Smalling put under pressure by Hazard, just able to pass it out here to the right-hand side. Jose Mourinho urging his team on. Antonio Conte now just a few minutes away from becoming an FA Cup winning manager. Antonio Conte, he's never won a cup competition as a coach. Ball into the area though to Sanchez, back to goal. Sanchez just a little touch to the left hand side, then the ball is poorly lifted over by Martial, who got it all wrong, and he just patted it away with his left foot behind for a goal kick.
I tell you what, Kante done so well there. When Sanchez pulled it down, Kante thought, I'm just going to try and nick the ball, and he thought about it again and pulled his foot away. Clever play from the midfield player, but it's all United. They've had 3 times as many passes, they've created 3 times as many chances, but they cannot put the ball in the back of the net.
I was going to say, to be fair, you know, we question Man United's first half. There's been a lot of question marks. You can't question the second half. They've been at it, the tempo's been good, but in both ends of the pitch, you just saw Smalling guide away the centre forward. You got Young going after him to make sure they got the ball away from goal. Much better performance second half, but as you said, they've got to score a goal.
Incidentally, with less than 2 minutes to play, Chelsea still haven't made a change. This is their first substitution, and Alvaro Morata.
I'm really surprised that this wasn't done earlier, actually. Because I thought Drew's been, he's worked, but he hasn't really got hold of it at times, and I thought Morata had come on a lot earlier. I thought possibly Willian as well.
So here's Alvaro Morata, who during the course of his still young career has won a string of trophies, coming on as a late substitute, and sometimes not so late.
Isn't it a different Conte we've seen today than the last 2 Premier League games?
Very much so. But he had the smell of a trophy in his nostrils. Here is Hazard on the left-hand side. Hazard for Chelsea, goes for the byline, pulls it across, and Mata was there in position to, all he could do was block it behind for a corner to Chelsea. And Willian's going to come on now, and this is after making that first substitution in the final stages of this match. Conte is looking to break up the match and bring on the substitutes, and Chelsea with the corner on the left. We're in the 90th minute now. Chelsea are in no hurry. Hazard walks across with the ball, carrying it, puts it down. Fabregas then eventually arrives, takes the short corner to Hazard, who is challenged, and it's out of play for a throw-in to Chelsea. Conte is not making the change just yet, and Herrera is saying, who's going to take this throw-in for Chelsea? There's no one there. But that's because Chelsea are going to take off Hazard.
Well, you just hope now from Conte's situation that United don't score and go to extra time. Who'd be a manager, eh, Sean?
It's brutal, It's brutal.
Well, this could be a significant walk here that Eden Hazard is making. He's scored the only goal so far in this FA Cup final. It could be the winning goal. This could be his last appearance in a Chelsea shirt. Who knows? And off he comes. And unlike last Sunday at St James's Park, he gets a handshake and a slap on the back from Antonio Conte. Willian is on then. And we are now in added time. 5 minutes of added time. Jose Mourinho's Manchester United have 5 minutes to come up with an equalising goal and take this cup final to extra time. Otherwise, it's going to be Chelsea's day.
The game management now for Chelsea. Keep the ball in that corner, run the clock down. They've got experience there. Willian and Fabregas.
Fabregas and Willian. Game management. I wonder who they learnt this from, the Chelsea players. How to manage a game. Willian plays it back towards Bakayoko. Bakayoko, a lovely little ball to Willian, puts his foot on it. Willian looks full of beans into the penalty area, crosses it, but his low ball was blocked by Valencia. However, it's taken up for Chelsea again by Bakayoko, that bounces away from him. Willian with a nudge in the back of Herrera. That's no free kick though. And then Rudiger arrives and just whacks it out of play. And referee Oliver says it took a touch off Herrera. So it's a throw-in for Chelsea. It's beginning to look a lot like Chelsea's cup final. Throw in. United can't get out of their own half. Alonso with the throw in. Just holds the ball above his head. Eventually takes the throw to Willian. Michael Oliver suggesting that he is aware of the fact that Alonso took his time to take that throw in. Here he is with another one. Again, delays, then takes the throw in to towards the corner flag, where Alonso is shoved off the ball and it bounces out of play for what is now given as a Manchester United throw after Morata was unable to keep possession for Chelsea. So United played up towards Lukaku, but he's headed it on and there was no one there in a red shirt. And now we have played 2 minutes of the 5 of added time, Robbie.
Yeah, certainly have. I think will United get one more opportunity?
Will they? I'm not sure. Morata missed the bouncing ball. Valencia then hoists it forward into the centre circle. Lukaku wins the header. Martial with a touch. Here's Paul Pogba. Square ball from him towards Mata. Back towards Herrera. Jose Mourinho can do nothing more. Stands with his hands on his hips. It could be a trophyless season for Manchester United. We knew that would be the case for one of these clubs today. The ball is chipped across towards Valencia. He takes it down. Here's Valencia's ball into the box. It's a high one and it's headed back across goal.
I think
and over the
Pogba's
top of the
push
bar.
in the back there. I think if he lets him head it cleanly. Let's have a look.
Nemanja Matic with a header. And he headed it up and wide. And a yellow card for Courtois for time wasting.
606 John to follow. 0805 909 693. Where Manchester United 2 negative in that first half. As Sean said, they've been the better side in the second half, no question about it. But was he 2 negative in the first half, Jose Mourinho?
Yep, that will be the headline, won't it? 08085 909 693 to talk to Robbie Savage on 606. This is 5 Live on the World Service. The closing moments of the 2018 FA Cup final, which has been played out in glorious conditions, and really as a final it's got better as it's gone on. And Manchester United now, only time, 90 seconds, just less than 90 seconds to play for Manchester United to find an equaliser.
Quality in the box.
Here's Mata now on his left foot, plays it in high towards the back post. And the challenge comes in from Moses on Sanchez. Moses got the touch with his head. It's behind for a corner for Manchester United. And we are now in the 5th minute of added time. They're wondering whether De Gea should have gone up. Here's the corner, played into the gloves of Courtois, who catches it.
You've got to get something on the keeper at this stage of the game. You've got to make sure that he can't just come and catch that at this stage of the game. Your last knock-ins. That drives you mad as a manager, that sort of stuff, by the way.
And Alexis Sanchez tears off some strapping, hurls it on the ground. I think United might feel that was that final chance that we were talking about. Now we have, I make it 30 seconds to play of added time. It's all about how much longer after that. Michael Oliver adds on. Ball deflects for Chelsea and for Fabregas inside his own half. Plays it to Willian.
He's just got to take it into the corner.
Giving it to Morata. Morata plays it through though to Willian. Willian's in the box on the left hand side, and Mata was the man with the final touch with a covering challenge to stab it behind with the toe of his boot, and it's a corner for Chelsea.
Oh, looks like that's going to be it, John. Conte looks like he's won the FA Cup, and Chelsea fans, do you want Conte to stay? 08085 909 693 is going to be the last play of the game. John?
That's another very good question, Robbie, for 606. But it is a corner, and suddenly blue flags are flying all around half of Wembley Stadium. They are waiting an eternity to take this corner. There are 3 of them there. The substitutes are there as well. The Chelsea substitutes are saying that the United players are not 10 yards away. The corner is taken, and that is it. That is the final whistle. And Antonio Conte is surrounded by his coaching staff, and Jose Mourinho walks across as well and warmly embraces Antonio Conte, who now moves away and looks to the Chelsea supporters. He turns to them, he punches the air with both fists. He is an FA Cup final winning Chelsea manager. Now, is that his last act as the manager of Chelsea Football Club? If it is, he leaves with a Premier League title in his first season and an FA Cup in his second. For Jose Mourinho, though, and for Manchester United, no trophy. And he consoles his players. Runners-up in the Premier League and runners-up in the FA Cup final too. But it has been Chelsea's day. They won it with that first half penalty from Eden Hazard, who won the penalty himself and scored it. And so 1-0 the final score, with Sean Dyche and Robbie Savage. Robbie.
Yeah, I thought it was the first half performance from Chelsea, the great play from Hazard, the individual brilliance from Hazard to create the penalty and then put it away. You know, Jose Mourinho's tactics, he knew what he was doing that first half. At times it looked like they were all over the place, but second half United were the better side. But the big call before the game was, did Conte play Caballero or go with his strongest goalkeeper? He went with his strongest goalkeeper, who pulled off 2 or 3 world-class saves. Chelsea deservedly, you would say, just maybe not, have won the FA Cup 1-0.
I think it's an interesting one, you know, for me as manager, because these are the games that as managers you love the idea of Chelsea winning that as their manager. The reason is that after this game, and we're all guilty of it sometimes, you look at the stats. Man United, a very powerful statistical performance, but on the eye you go, well, Chelsea was stronger in the first half, well organised, never really in trouble. Second half rode their luck a little bit and they win. So it's an interesting one, you know, because the fan view will be completely different to the manager's view, I think.
So we have Chelsea celebrations going on inside Wembley Stadium in front of us here. They've made up for the disappointment of losing in the final last year when they were going for the double, but in 2018 they've won the FA Cup for the 8th time. Only Arsenal and Manchester United now have won it more than Chelsea. The final score, Chelsea 1, Manchester United 0.
Defensively in that second half, Sean, they were excellent, Chelsea, weren't they? I mean, Courtois' save actually in the incident that went to VAR was fantastic, but Rudiger and Cahill and Azpilicueta were excellent.
Yeah, a few questions over Rudiger early in the season. You know, he's adapted to what the challenges are, I think. Azpilicueta, fantastic. You know, Robbie brought up a great moment when a superb block, that means a lot to your team. Doesn't always get recognised. It did by Robbie today, but it doesn't always get recognised. Cahill, for me, still a top class defender, you know, and they do it so well. Their distances were excellent, you know, and they made it really tough. But second half, it's hard not to credit Manchester United, because a lot of question marks over, you know, the free flowing fluid play of old, but you saw it in the second half. They were a force in the second half, and I think they're very unfortunate in the second half, that is, to actually not at least take this to extra time.
Do you think the second half display, Robbie, will stop the callers and the questions when you do 606 about the first half display?
No, I don't think it will, chappers. You know, he had a game plan, Jose Mourinho. Herrera was close to Hazard, and the moment there was a bit of, you know, Herrera at times didn't know whether to stick or twist. Do I stick with Hazard or do I leave him, pass him on? And when he passed him on, Jones didn't know whether to take him. It was a great bit of skill. So I think, you know, I'm sure United fans will be on the phones questioning his tactics in that first half, but as Sean has said, second half United did deserve to take the game to extra time, really. But this United side, I've seen them plenty of times this season, when they're up against it, that's when they play with a freedom. We've seen it in the derby, 2-0 down. We've seen it against Sevilla when they went 2-0 down, they will play their better football. We've seen it against Spurs here. Why does it take such good players and a fantastic manager to react a reactionary manner rather than a proactive one?
So why does it then? Because you could argue that's partly the problem when they play, let's say, the lower half teams in the Premier League, where the
I know them lower half teams in the Premier League.
No, you don't.
That's banter. That was the joke. That was banter for anyone listening. I'm not making grand statements or anything like that. Couldn't help it.
Because that, again, when they've had to have it take the game to the opposition, the impetus, that's where they've been criticised this season as well.
Yeah, it's a style of football thing which we all spoke about before the game. It's Manchester United. The fans expect free-flowing, attacking football like a Liverpool, like a Manchester City, but they don't. You see them against Brighton. But what Josie will say, he's got to a cup final, and they've got the most points in the Premier League, finished second since the treble-winning season. So it's that catch-22 situation.
Yeah, it is. It's true. It's true. The managers, and we often get accused of using it as cover, but facts are facts. Like I said, I'm interested in today as a manager because the stats of that game will be massively in favour of Manchester United, massively in favour. So therefore you're going, well, what a good performance it was. And yet second half, yes, first half, not anywhere near what the second half was. So it's the conundrum that is football.
Zach, a Chelsea fan, and N'Golo Kante's proved again he's one of the best central midfielders in the world. There is no debating that. I'm not sure, says Ollie, about Conte's game management today, but we did it. Ian, 2 seasons, 2 trophies for Conte. Can't argue with that.
I was just about to say, Kante for me, different class. As a team player, oh my goodness, you would absolutely adore him, having him, because he gives everything. He's everywhere on the pitch. He can play, by the way, more than people give him credit for. I think he's fantastic. I think he's absolutely top draw.
The Chelsea players at the moment in a huge circle away to our left and bouncing up and down in the sunshine. Actually, still a slither of sunshine away to the left. Manchester United players standing with their own thoughts, the majority of them. Really, Anthony Martial in conversation with one of the Chelsea players at the moment, but the majority of them, as you look down here, are looking down at the ground and alone with their thoughts. I think is Vicky Sparks down there. I think Vicky's down there. Vicky, where are you?
I am indeed. I'm just down by the Chelsea dugout where Antonio Rudiger has just given a bottle of champagne to some of the technical staff, making sure that they look after it as he heads down the tunnel. Jose Mourinho went past me a few moments ago looking very, very glum. His first domestic cup final defeat in English football. Antonio Conte followed him shortly afterwards, and as you say, lovely embrace between the two at the end. Antonio Conte absolutely mobbed by his backroom staff, and Jose Mourinho fought his way through and gave Conte a hug. They've had friction. It's been such a feisty relationship for the last couple of years, but smiles and embraces on the touchline. But this will hurt Mourinho.
It will. It won't stop, will it, Robbie? Any of the rumours and conversations about what happens to Antonio Conte this summer either?
No, it certainly won't. But what do you all say? Chat was in his 2 years in the Premier League so far. He's won the Premier League when they were mid-table the season before. Now he's won the FA Cup after 2 very poor performances against Huddersfield and Newcastle. But he looked different today, Chappers, didn't he? His demeanour, his enthusiasm. It was like the Conte when he was winning games, winning the Premier League. He was energetic. He was talking to all his team. He was brilliant on the sideline today. It was a Conte we knew.
Well, John Murray, you said that in commentary, that everything seemed very different to that game at Newcastle that you were at last Sunday.
Yeah, but of course, how many times over the years have we seen a team in their match before, a big match, a cup final, put in a performance like that and be transformed the next week when the trophy's on the line?
The Manchester United players at the moment just starting to walk up the steps. I think Nemanja Matic is leading them up the steps. From an England point of view going forward, defensively, Sean, it could be argued that Chris Smalling had a much better game than Phil Jones. Not that you base a selection on one game, but Smalling has consistently defended well this season.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen all of their season, obviously, but the moments I've seen, he's still a good player. People forget that. It's almost like when you're getting selected for England or not, it's like people decide you're either really good or really rubbish. It's obviously not the case. The margins are tight. Gareth's got to choose who he can choose. I don't think there's not clear daylight between the choices he's made, and I think Smalling must have been in the thinking.
The miserable faces of the Manchester United players walking past John Murray at the moment to the far left of this commentary box. Chelsea still down and celebrating on the pitch. Earlier, Gary Cahill spoke to Dan Walker.
captain for the day. Just talk us through what that means from a Chelsea perspective. Incredible celebrations on the pitch, Gary.
Unbelievable. You can see what it means to us. You can see what it means to the staff. You can see what it means to the fans. Superb all season, and Thibaut pulled out some magnificent saves for us. So listen, we're buzzing. We got the job done, 1-0. That man again, Ed, and with a penalty. We're delighted.
What does it mean to you as captain as well? You'll be picking up that trophy in a few minutes' time.
Do you know what, it's a dream come true, because this is the first one as captain of the club. Last year we all know John was a captain, but he let me get the armband and he let me help him pick the trophy up in the Premier League, which was fantastic. But this is extra special for me. I'm delighted that I've won these competitions. The last one in 2012 I didn't play in. This one's extra special to play in. From a selfish point of view, it's not the same feeling when you've not played and put everything on the pitch.
One final one. Your manager was celebrating. Do you want him to stay here? Do you want him to be at Chelsea next season?
Listen, we needed to achieve this goal for everybody, no matter what happens in the future. We're not in control of that as players, and I'm sure the club and himself will make the best decision for him and his family. The club, who knows what's going to happen, but it's important that we won this trophy. Like I said earlier at the start of the conversation, for us, for the staff, for the manager and for the fans.
Gary Cahill talking to Dan Walker.
SJ Radio's official FA Cup live, covering every game, every goal. Live, SJ Radio.
There you have it then. Hazard's penalty in at the 30th minute put Chelsea into the lead. An offside ruled out for Man United in the second half. Couldn't keep their motivation together. Chelsea has won the FA Cup 2018. They have it in Chelsea's won the FA Cup 2018, and that's not where the football ends. And of course we are back on the 14th of June. 14th of June, 3 o'clock. Russia, Saudi Arabia, 6 o'clock. Or 4 o'clock, sorry. We're live from 3 o'clock. We build up to the ceremony with the 2018 World Cup in Russia. And then we've got every single World Cup game for you, including Russia and Saudi Arabia on the 14th to kick-off season, then on the 15th. 3 o'clock got Egypt and Uruguay, Morocco and Iran, and Portugal and Spain. Then on the 16th, France, Australia, Argentina and Iceland, Peru, Denmark, and Nigeria. The 17th we've got Costa Rica and Saudi Arabia, Germany and Mexico. We've also got Brazil and Switzerland, and Sweden and South Korea. And then we've got Belgium and Plymouth. Then, big match, 18th, 7 o'clock. England's first game against Tunisia. All here. SJ Radio's official live cup coverage starting on the 14th of June. Apart from that, guys, we'll catch up with you there. Don't forget, SJ Radio's not on air until after the World Cup. Some people say yes. Anyway, history making day today. The Royal Reading and Chelsea has won the FA Cup 2018.